And now it gets real, Metcalf. 30 and 30, one prospect every single day to get excited for the return of college basketball, aka draft season. Also, before we really get into this, the No Ceilings preseason NBA draft guide is up at noceilingsnba.com. Check it out, folks. 60 prospects. Our whole team did analysis this offseason, in-depth write-ups, pro comps, pros, cons, whatever you want. It's there. So go check that out, noceilingsnba.com. But today, we're getting serious. Starting with BYU freshman AJ Dybantsa. If you haven't heard of him, where have you been? So AJ Dybantsa, 6'9", listed around 210, depending on where you want to find that. One of the most hyped prospects in recent, years. Metcalf coming out of high school. There's a lot to love. We've seen him a couple years in person, and this is some really scary upside. So let's start slow with this one because we're gonna have a lot to talk about. Give me the big pitch for someone. If someone's been, on another planet or sleeping, in a barn or something, what do you need to know about AJ Dybantsa if you're trying to get caught up?
Ideal NBA size athleticism for an NBA wing. Like from day one, you can plug and play. From a physicality, athleticism standpoint, he's not going to struggle, which is rare to say about a lot of freshmen. And then you just look at the scoring and his rim pressure and the scoring craft, the foul drawing, how efficient he can be. And 74% at the rim in 40 games for Utah Prep last year. When he wants to get to a spot, he's going to get there. And if you give him a runway, you made a mistake. If you press too far up on him, you made a mistake. If you jump at a shot fake, you made a mistake. Regardless of what you do, he's constantly putting defenders on their heels and kind of getting wherever he wants on the court.
The hype has been real. It's not just, this last year. I think you can argue his senior year was even more, or his junior year was even more impressive than his senior year when it comes to the playing style and stuff. But this is a bad man on the court. There's a lot of these. There's 3 especially bad men in this class. We're going to be talking about each of them. But with AJ, there's a lot of impressive stuff all the time. And then there's some plays where you're like, oh my gosh, did you just see that? Or you're texting your friends like, please watch this clip. So there's a lot offensively to get excited about. Like you just said, he's a plug and play type of forward, of wing. The NBA is about guys on the perimeter now, and it's wings. And AJ is one of the best ones we've seen in recent memory when it comes to the physical profile, the potential two-way upside, the star power, the star potential. There's a lot to like. So let me get some stats out of the way, then we can get to the nitty-gritty. So at Utah Prep, as you mentioned, per synergy, he averaged 26.4 points, 9.7 rebounds, 3.6 assists, 1.6 steals. That's on 51, 35, 80. Pretty dang good. Been playing at FIBA. He's been at multiple Nike Hoop Summits. We got to see him at Nike Hoop Summit when it was the Cooper Flag, Dylan Harper class. And it was immediately scouts there were like, well, screw this class. Can we talk about AJ? Like they were just like, oh my gosh, look at this guy here. So there's a lot of hype coming with this one. There's a lot of hype delivered too when you watch him on the court. Let's start positive. So you want to start offense or defense?
Your call.
Okay, let's start with the offense. So what's the part of his game that gets you so intrigued with the offensive side of the ball?
The rim pressure and scoring craft. And like I said, 74% across 40 games at the rim. Pretty good. But then you factor in also just his creativity and his patience and his physicality and how easy it is for him to initiate contact and put defenders in vulnerable positions that he can then capitalize on and draw a foul. Like I know we don't all love foul drawing culture and it being a tendency, but it's a legit skill. And in college, he's gonna get 7 to 15 points a night just at the line. And that leads to incredibly efficient offense. And it puts the defense in really bad positions because now all of their top defenders are in foul trouble in the blink of an eye, just because he's initiating contact, putting them on their heels. And then he also combines that with a really intriguing mid-range scoring game where he'll get to the rim, 4 times in a row and then slam on the brakes, pivot back the other way, and then knock down a fadeaway jumper, whether your hand is in his face or it's not. So I'm just the interior scoring stuff with him, how effortlessly he gets to his spots. It's really exciting.
Foul drawing is an art. We don't
It is.
all love that. It's, art is that way. We don't like the same pieces of art. Sometimes we might be like, what is that? I don't like it. And some other people might be like, that's beautiful. It is an art. And he is starting to, become very good at painting a picture and a beautiful piece, but he's talented that way. And that's a skill that I think the top forwards in the league that are really starting to fall into place. Like, you start to learn how to do it. AJ's starting to learn how to do it before he even gets to college. Like, we saw that in FIBA. He's so good at picking up. Like, he's going to be a team foul dream for coaches. Like, oh, we got the bonus quick because AJ got 4 guys reaching on him and got fouled a bunch. But you're right. He's going to get to the free throw line a lot. He's going to create some easy buckets, some easy opportunities to get the point number up. But then you also, like you said, the scoring, we say like, hey, understanding and being able to play within the game of flow when it comes to scoring gravity, of like, AJ knows how to use that scoring gravity to also like, okay, I hit you a couple times with going to the basket. Now I'm going to post up, or a face up opportunity. He can get to that middle of the key and hit that little pull up jumper with some of the best of them. He's so good at that because he's lengthy. He gets higher than most people. And that's his bread and butter now, if you want to put it that way. What else do you want to spotlight with the offense or, improvement areas? Because there's a lot with these big 3 guys. Sorry, there's going to be a lot that we're going to be dissecting, and we've talked about them a lot. So is there something with the offense that you still like that we haven't talked about, or is there something offensively you want to see get better?
2 things that I think desperately need to get better. One, the jumper. It's more so consistency with it. When he puts arc on it, it looks good. When he steps into it confidently, puts arc on it, it looks good. But he's a little too prone to leaving it short and shooting a flat ball. And on his jumpers last year at Utah Prep across 40 games, 31.4% on 2-point jumpers on 102 attempts, 35.2% on 247 3-point attempts. Again, that's just jumpers, not awesome numbers. Love the volume. The volume's really encouraging. The shot diet, the versatility, the difficulty, that's all really encouraging as well. Just need those percentages to catch up. That's more of like I'm pretty sure it'll improve. I'm not too worried about it, but it still needs to. My bigger concern, is the playmaking. He's shown flashes of it, and just like his raw playmaking numbers and ratios, like, and efficiency with it, they're fine. At Utah Prep, he had a positive assist to turnover rate of under 13, but I think that's more of a testament to his handle, and it can get a little loose, but I think it's more so a testament to the infrequency of his passing, where there are flashes of him using his scoring gravity to create for others, but it's like once or twice a game. And it should be 6, 7, 8, 9 times a game because he's constantly drawing secondary defenders, and too frequently he's bailing them out with tough pull-up jumpers trying to look for a foul instead of just making the easy kick out to his teammate in the corner or dump off to his big man at the rim. And if he starts doing that stuff, obviously the assist numbers will skyrocket, which is great for team offense, but it'll also make his life easier because it'll generate more one-on-one defensive matchups because help defenders will have to stay home on shooters and cutters and rim runners. And now he can either dissect that one-on-one matchup or put that guy in foul trouble. So the fact that he too frequently bails out defenders by resorting to a tough pull-up shot is really concerning for me, where and his list of priorities is number 1, get a bucket. Number 2, draw a foul. And then down in like a spot is find an open teammate.
People are thinking you're going to be harsh, and it's on tape. You can watch it. You can see it. It's something that has been developing. And this is also tough because, going junior year, AJ was a bad man in high school. Like you saw, he was on a mission. Senior year, he had been getting a lot of hype, getting a lot of attention. And we always say senior year is the biggest fool's gold when it comes to tape. You can look like the superstar and you can be like, you know what? My final year as senior, I'm going to college next year. you could buy into the machine a little bit. We saw it at Hoop Summit. We were like, oh, it looks like he's not the killer he was last year, but you still see how talented he is. And I love AJ as a prospect. I think this class, the top 3 guys, everyone's finding out really quick right now. It's like, oh, it's the hype. It's legit. It's serious. It's like, yes, these ones are different. These ones are really, really different. And these would all be number 1 picks in a different class, but they're all in the same one. That's why it's going to be a fun year. So with AJ, going off of what you're saying, like you saw it right away. And I don't take exhibition games like too much with my evaluation, but it does show if some of the same stuff from past is popping up. And you saw the first one against Nebraska. He ended up having 30. It looked unbelievable in box scores. You watch the tape and you're like, box scores don't tell the full story. Like there's a couple times where he was on a roll scoring, and then he'd drive, and all of a sudden you pause the screen. You're like, there's 3 or 4 guys. And he's got, Richie Saunders, who was a little cold, but still Richie Saunders, a lights out shooter in the corner wide open. Or a couple other guys where you're like, that's an extra pass, skip, easy. You should see that. And it's just nothing, or it's just hesitation to even be able to see that. The next game against North Carolina, he was making reads so much quicker. So it was like, look, that's what you want to see. Is the coach probably sat with him and said, look, where should the ball go? You shot this. There's 4 Nebraska guys on it. The fact that we saw growth in one exhibition game in a couple of days, like, was like, oh, this is going to be such a fun year, because that's what you want to see, is the game to game adjustments. So I definitely think the playmaking is a big part this year. I think it's one of the top things offensively I want to see. Like he has flashes of, like you said, of being a brilliant playmaker. Yeah. But I think when you're that scorer, you get fascinated with like, I got to get, 20 or 30. And it's like, well, sometimes you might be able to have 18 and 10 assists pretty easily if you just kind of take what the defense gives you and makes life so easy for you. So defense, talk to me. Dr. Metcalf's Dr. Defense for everyone that's just here for the first time because you saw AJ Dybantsa. Dr. Defense, what's your big picture? And then we can really nitpick some stuff.
I think he could, not is, but could be the best wing defender from this class. Especially on ball. I love the way that his defense improved this last year. The combination of fundamentals, physicality, and desire to defend were all fantastic. And we talk about senioritis with top prospects a lot, and how it can infect their decision making and shot selection and scoring efficiency and effort. I never got that sense with AJ's on-ball defense. And on top of that, he was constantly taking the toughest matchups. So he doesn't shy away from it. He invites it. He wants it. And that's really, really exciting for me. Off ball is a little different story. There's some good, a lot of lack of attention, lack of detail that needs work. But the fact that he's this good on ball already with the scoring stuff is really encouraging.
I think he's got the potential to be one of the best defenders, not only from his class, as you pointed out. Like he has all NBA defensive potential. It's just the consistency. Like the upside, there's some flashes in the playmaking offensively, and there's flashes defensively. I would say the defensive flashes are more consistent, because when AJ's locked in, you get real scared about how fun it could be, like defensively, because it's just the frame when he's engaged, he has that look like, I'm all in. There's no way. Like, it's just a competitive drive. You can see when he's really locked in. It's fun. And then he's got the length, he's got the quickness, and he's got just special tools you can't teach. So, yeah, there's awesome flashes. But the off ball, I think you're spot on. There's some times where you could see he just coasts or ball watches.
It's very much a lot. Well, that's not my assignment. That's not my guy.
Yeah, and it could be either an understanding. It could just be like, you see it. I hate bringing up exhibition games. You saw it in the first exhibition game. I posted a clip and people went nuts on me. And I'm like, look, I'm watching the tape. This isn't just, we're watching tape here. That's what we do at No Ceilings NBA. We do not do highlights. We do tape. We watch the film. So he was awesome in that game. But I was like, nitpicking. We had a bad shot on offense followed by complete not knowing what to do defensively, and it ended up an easy bucket for Nebraska. But that's what's going to happen with these top 3 guys. We're going to nitpick them this year. And I think AJ, we're always rooting for him at No Ceilings. That's what we do. That's what we always say. AJ has the tools that you're just, as an evaluator, you're like, driving yourself insane because you could be so good on that side of the ball. Like there's stuff I don't see every year, every draft class. And it's like, you could be a really special two-way talent. And I think that's what scouts are also so excited about. So that's what gets me so, pumped up about him or motivated, is because I'm like, you could get, with this class, you could get a third guy and the guy that goes third overall, it could be a franchise altering piece. Like that's how special it is. So any last thoughts before we end up making this an hour-long episode of 30 and 30?
He's so good, and he's already dominant. He already produces insane levels on both ends of the floor, and it feels like he's just barely scratching the surface of how good he could be. If he buys into doing more of the less sexy stuff by making the extra pass, by making the rotation on time, by boxing out, by just doing the little things, his numbers might not pop quite in the same way, but his overall impact and contribution to winning is going to skyrocket. And the fact that we're saying that one of the most highly touted high school prospects in years is still barely scratching the surface for how good he could be is scary.
Yeah. Completely agree. That's what gets me pumped about watching him, is because it's like, he's this good and there's levels he hasn't reached where it's like, you could see there's still so much upside potential. And if he does reach that, like the top three have incredible prospects. I think he's got the highest upside because of the frame, because of the position, because of the two-way stuff that has not been consistently unlocked. You see flashes and you're like, oh my gosh, run for your life if he figures this out defensively. So it's going to be fun. It really is. So last comments, Metcalf, speaker now. All right.
He's good.
Yeah, he's good. This was a fun one. Folks, buckle up for the 26th draft class. It's going to be a very special year. So make sure you check out the No Ceilings NBA YouTube channel. This has been 30 and 30. One prospect every single day we're talking about. We've got 2 left. This is crazy. And college basketball season is almost back, aka draft season's back. As I said to start the show, to start the episode, NoCeilingsNBA.com. We have a preseason draft guide. Go check it out. 60 prospects, in-depth analysis, write-ups, pro comps, all that fun stuff. So thank you guys for the support. We'll see you next time. Thanks.